guys? Guess who I have as a special guest today? Dun dun dun! Aria! And I put her hair in a little ponytail today. It's just the cutest. It's the cutest. Today we're going to talk about co-sleeping, the pros and cons to co-sleeping, and why I personally love it so much. So, like I always say, did I say like I always say? Like I always say, be engaged with me and leave your comments down below. I love these types of discussions. So let's get into it. Now, most of you guys may know that I was a nanny when I was in high school. That was my job. I always nannied, and every kid that I worked for or worked with all had their own room, slept in their same bed or in their bed. They didn't even really go in their parents' bedroom. And so working with all these children kind of made me think as a mother, you know, for the future, of course, that I would have my kids sleeping in their own room, in their own bed. They would never sleep with me. That was just not a thing. And so fast forward, I get pregnant and I am on a hunt for a crib. I don't even think of co-sleeping as a thing because, to be quite honest, you hear all these stories of people rolling over their child and children suffocating, etc., etc. So in my mind, it just wasn't something that parents did. I didn't think co-sleeping was a thing. Then I ended up having my Troy, right? And so he slept in the bassinet portion of his playpen, and we put it on the side of my bed. And I want to say the first 2 months, he slept pretty well in it. And then the third month, there was a particular night he just constantly woke up. And I was just so exhausted. By the fourth time of him waking up, I put him in bed with me, and he ended up falling asleep instantly and didn't wake up at all. He slept the entire night. Next thing you know, he's sleeping in bed with me every single night. Until this day, he's almost 2 years old. He's in bed with us. Now, I got pregnant with Aria, and I was like, oh my goodness, am I gonna have 2 kids in my bed? I don't want it to be a thing. I don't want both the kids in bed with me. But I'll be honest, I loved having Troy in bed with me. I loved it. I loved the bond. And, you know, it was just something that I didn't think was a bad thing. But when I got pregnant with her, I didn't want both the kids in bed with me. So I put her in her boppy pillow on the bed, and then he slept with EJ. She slept with me in the boppy pillow on the bed. So that worked for us for a while. Now she sleeps next to me in her rocker, and we're about to get her a playpen maybe today too. So she's gonna sleep in her own, but in our room, and then he sleeps in bed with us. But soon he is going to get a toddler bed. EJ and I have been discussing it. So before his 2nd birthday, he'll be in his own bed. With that all being said, I personally love co-sleeping. It's not for everybody. I understand that. It is not for everybody. When I tell people that the kids sleep in bed with me, they think I'm insane. They're like, girl, why? Get them used to sleeping on their own. But I love it. I don't see anything wrong with it, especially when they're young. I like the co-sleepers, so that's what we did for both the kids. Troy slept in a co-sleeper for a little bit, but then after a while, he just slept literally like on the bed next to me. I'm a very light sleeper, so you know, I was aware of him and his placement at all times. With Aria, she slept in her little version of a co-sleeper, and now she sleeps on this side of me. But if need be, I don't mind her sleeping in bed with me either. I love having my children in bed with me, and there's pros and cons to it. So I feel like the pros is it's a nice bond. I also feel like it's safe in the sense that you can always look over at them, make sure everything's okay with them. They're not in another room, so if perhaps they stop breathing, you know soon enough. It wouldn't be safe to have a newborn in between 2 parents, and then both the parents are heavy sleepers. No, but like, you know, there's safe ways to co-sleep. Easy for feedings. You know, it's convenient because with both the kids, really, it was just easy for me to just feed them because they're like literally in bed with me, especially Aria because she is fully breastfed. Troy, I had to get out of bed, but you know, it still wasn't too much work. So there is cons, of course. I would say the biggest con is probably getting them adjusted to being on their own, getting that independence. But I feel like if you co-sleep at a young age and then you stop it at a certain point, if you do it, I guess, you know, the best way you can, it won't cause too much of an issue, you know what I mean? Troy, he's very independent, so it'll be easy for him to transition to a bed, but he'll be in our room. I think getting him to his own room would be something else, but getting him in his own bed, that won't be a problem. For Aria, she already sleeps on her own, so she's just in the bed next to us, and you know that it is what it is. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I feel like people have this weird feeling about kids sleeping in bed with the parents, and you know, one of those questions I do get asked too is, you know, what do you do when it comes to being intimate? And I always say, you know, yes, there's other places to do it, and you know, I don't want to get all juicy with the details. I personally love having my babies in bed with me. I know, I feel I like that closeness, I like that bond. But now Troy's almost 2 years old, and he is getting to be a rough sleeper. He tosses, he turns, he headbutts in the middle of the night, and now it's when I'm like, no, you got to get on your own, you got to get on your own. So with Aria, I'm not gonna probably start her off, like, I don't think I'm gonna have her in our bed like that, because Aria has a very clingy personality. I can see it already, and I feel like if I were to have her in our bed, she would never want to leave. Okay, so we're not even gonna try to start that with her. But there are cons, like I said, when your kids get to that point of like moving around and just being so active, it could be something. But other than that, I don't really see anything wrong with it, long as you do it safely. But I'd love, once again, to hear your thoughts on it. I always tell new moms, like my friends that are getting pregnant, I'm like, you know, do what you feel is best for you, because it's your child, you know what I mean? But I always recommend a co-sleeper to start off with. It was really hard to kind of talk with Aria, but I hope you guys understood where I was coming from, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!